I don't know what that even means. Like, what is talks excessively? I feel like it's only excessive talking when the person that's being talked to doesn't want to be a part of the conversation. And maybe they have ADHD. Maybe they're distracted from the conversation. Maybe they're the one with the problem. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of like sort of inherently negative bias with that. But yeah, so for me growing up, it was very much like I couldn't make mistakes or else you get punished, and it was terrible. So I became a perfectionist. And I'm very much still working on that. I don't identify as a perfectionist anymore, but I still have a lot of perfectionistic tendencies, and it came from a place I feel like of overcompensating or having exceptionally high standards, even higher than what someone might expect of me. To prevent the likelihood of having a mistake happen. So I just took off one half of my head of passion twists. The rest is like lying on the floor. And all right, I've got all of the passion twists out now, and it feels a bit better. Um, my hair curly right now. I'm gonna describe what you're seeing. So my hair are in twists, right? So the way I do my passion twist is I braid the first like quarter of an inch, and then I twist my hair, and then I crochet in the passion twist in at the root, and then twist it over my already twisted hair, so that when I take it out, my hair looks like this. And if I need to go, like, say, run an errand, or like need to get on a Zoom call, I need to do something where my face needs to be seen, and like I want my hair to just not look like I just took a bunch of passion twists out of my head. So, yeah. So that's what you're seeing. And what I'm feeling like I want to do, what do I want to do? I'm feeling like I want to do a twist out with the roots braided, which I really actually like doing because it sort of makes it look like it's an installed style, but it's not. And I feel like you can even see like my hair looks pretty good considering it's been in there for about a month, and I don't use any products to style my hair. I just, shampoo, condition, maybe sometimes I'll deep condition, and then I'll just put in a passion twist. I'll just do that whole thing. And I really like it, and my hair seems to like not having a bunch of product on it. I feel like my hair always gets like way down and it flakes, and it's just like there's just so much. It's rare that I found a product that I actually like, but what's even better is like no products at all. So, okay, and if you came here just for the hair, I am more than just hair. And that being said, I first off, ADHD is an ascension symptom. I just realized that because I realized that I now have symptoms of it, whereas I never had before. I even dated a person with ADHD, diagnosed. And while we were dating, before I sort of really got into my spiritual journey, they're like, "You don't have ADHD." I'm like, "I know I don't, but now I do." Um, so that does not have anything to do with the next thing I'm going to say. But what I started to do is this, like, I know my one eye looks sort of blue. It's just because the computer screen's over there. So just try to ignore that. Um, I've been doing this, like, empty pantry sort of eating where I have been trying to, one, I haven't been like I totally changed the way I grocery shop. I only grocery shop for like the next 2 1 to 3 meals I want to eat. Because if I shop for more than that, it's unlikely that I'll want the same thing in like 3 days. But I used to be the type of person that could eat the same thing for months at a time. Like legit, one time when I was doing keto, I ate the same thing for lunch and dinner for 2 months straight, and I was so happy. But I cannot do that anymore. So I instead shop for 3 days max. And so that means that there's like not a ton of food in my fridge usually or in my pantries because I'm not shopping a bunch ahead. And so because of that, I'm also like wanting to ensure that I am using what I have as well, and like not forgetting about stuff that's in my pantry and being like, this is food. I should probably eat this before I go buy more food, even if it's not perishable. So right now I've got some like kidney beans soaking. I'm probably going to have rice and beans in a couple of days from now, once these beans are thoroughly soaked and ready and will cook fast. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I like rice and beans. And like that was something I actually wanted to make last week, but I just like it didn't happen. And so now it's happening and it feels like the right time for it to happen. So, and then right now, I haven't really eaten much of anything today. I just had some tortilla chips. I had a very lengthy personal self-care, pampering pleasure session this morning. It felt so, morning/afternoon. It was long. I took a bath, it was great. But now I'm like actually starting to feel hungry. Like I should probably eat something besides just tortilla chips. Like my stomach's starting to be like, we need a little bit more. So right now I'm sauteing some broccoli. And so I'm going to eat that. And while I think about what I want to do to my hair. Yep. Okay, so I'm watching this just through some passions with hair. So I'm watching this video about ADHD. The channel is How to ADHD. This woman's awesome. I love how thorough and clear she is with how she's able to like express herself and like tips she gives, and then just like sharing and educating about ADHD and stuff like that. And it's like she's reading some people's testimonials and like social media posts about their ADHD experiences as a kid. And then like some of them are like hitting, like I experienced that and I also experienced that. And I'm thinking like she talked about something that's called twice exceptional or something. It's like if you're gifted and you have ADHD, then like if you're gifted but you have some sort of mental thing, like often they can sort of cancel each other out, but not like exactly. That's not like a hard and fast rule by any means. But she was saying that in that instance, like oftentimes the giftedness sort of masks the ADHD, and so you might hear things like, oh, well, like you have so much potential, or oh, you're doing, like you could do so much better if you just did this, or if you just did that. And it's because of the ADHD, for example, that maybe those things aren't getting done. It's not just because the person is lazy or just doesn't want to do it or isn't trying hard enough. And thinking back to like my childhood, like I had to work incredibly hard. I realized from a very early age that I wasn't set up inherently to have everything taken care of for me. And so I needed to learn how to care for myself, how to care for a household, and I needed to, like my whole goal was getting to college. I didn't have any sort of college fund, anything like that. So I was like, I need to figure out what I need to do in order to get to college. And then I'm going to focus on doing that. And that's what I did. Like, I did it because I had to do it. But now I'm at a place where I don't feel like, where I don't have that same sort of pressure to try to conform and fit in this box to try to get into a better situation anymore. And so I mean, my life's incredibly different. I mean, it's totally different than the way it was before. Okay, I feel like taking off my glasses because I do. So, but it's just like, it's making me realize that like some of the things that I'm sort of struggling with now, I wouldn't say struggling with, that I'm finding challenging. Like, there was some work I was doing, I literally could not do it anymore. Like, I would feel so, like, this one job I was doing, it was so, oh, that's the timer, hold on. Okay, and then so I decided to make homemade French fries, one of my favorite things to eat. So that's what the timer was. I do them in the oven. They're great. Anyway, so I was talking about ADHD, but what was I talking about specifically? I don't remember. So like part of me though is like, I'm curious, like if I got an evaluation, like what would come up? And honestly, sometimes I worry that like things other than ADHD might come up. But like, who cares, right? Like, I know I don't think it would be that big of a deal or it'll affect me that significantly, but I'm always curious. You know, it's always interesting to get some other, like to see yourself through some other lens and see what they would categorize that or call that, or what box they would say you would fit in. But like, you don't have to take, I say only take the stuff that makes you feel good. Don't take the other stuff. I say the thing about ADHD, the part that makes me feel good is helping me sort of understand some of the things that I've been struggling, some of the things that I have been challenged by the longest, and some of the new things I'm challenged by. Maybe you'll put those into, not put it into context. What the benefit would be finding this is an avenue through which I can find a solution for these challenges, not necessarily just under some handicap or something like that. But finding solutions to overcome challenges that that I'm having. So, yeah, yeah. And I don't feel like doing my hair, so I'm not gonna do anything with it tonight. It's 7 o'clock. It's getting late. It's getting late. I don't stay up as late. That's a lie. That's so a lie. I do stay up really late sometimes. Oh, I remember what I was trying to talk about earlier. So I was working this job. I know the camera's wobbly. I should probably get my tripod. Okay, I'm up now. I feel like I need to be standing up because I feel like before I know it, the oven's gonna be going off again and then my French fries will be done. Oh, I need to make my sauce for my French fries. I make like this homemade special sauce and it's like different every time I make it, but that's what makes it fun, right? So this work I was doing, I was working with this client and the work was so boring. It was so boring. It was so boring. Like boredom has been something that I have been challenged by since I probably was in like middle school. Like I would just get so bored that it would be painful. I would be painfully bored. It'd be agonizing. Like it would just feel awful. And like I have really done a lot of work with that and have tried to really find a way to enjoy and find zen in like the moments where like nothing is happening. But I find that the boredom actually kicks in. Actually, I experience a boredom, not when like nothing's happening, but I experience a boredom when I am doing something or involved in something or in some situation that I find boring. That is the worst. And all I want is just to get away from whatever it is that's making me feel boredom. And so I have tried I tried a lot of things to try to get past my boredom and try to actually enjoy this work because it paid really well. I really tried because I was making good money, but I just could not, like, it was not honoring me. I just could not find anything about it interesting or exciting. It was monotonous. I don't do monotonous work. That's not what I'm about. And so I ended up quitting, resigning from that position before my boredom got to the point where like my work performance was too bad. I always like to keep doors open when I'm leaving some sort of work situation because you never know what might happen. But yeah, I didn't tell him I didn't want to work with him because I was bored. I was just like, it's time to end this for now. But yeah, I know what you're thinking. I thought this was going to be a hair video. Well, I thought this was going to be a hair video too. I thought I was going to make a video about hair. Um, and it was like the start of the hair, but not the completion of the hair. So what? Now there's hair in my mouth. Um, but yeah, I feel a lot more like, I don't know. I feel like a sense of sort of like a sense of relief that like, oh, it's not just that I'm like, I can't get it together, that like I'm not like these challenges I like am still, working on. But it's like, oh, okay, like I'm not the only person, of course, that has these challenges. And there's these whole group of people that also have these challenges and they have solutions. And there's really successful people that have these challenges that are still successful and manage to find ways to work, to use them to their advantage. And these challenges are actually in a way gifts and like everything's gonna work out and I don't have to worry and I could just have fun and continue to be myself and be me and not worry about it. And the solutions will come when they're meant to come in divine perfect timing. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, I have glasses back on because I need to see and I don't want to put in contacts. So I looked up some signs of like ADHD symptoms, women and girls. Why not get specific with it? And I'm gonna like read some off and then see which ones I feel like resonate with me and which ones don't. So let's see. Fails to give close attention to details or makes careless mistakes. Um, I would say that that's something that doesn't really happen for me often. Usually, if it were to happen, oh, I have 3 minutes before the timer goes up. If it usually happens, if I'm like rushing, if I'm rushing or like in a hurry, then that'll happen. But I feel like that happens for most people, right? Like, is it really that weird, like out of the norm? Um, but I would say if I did experience something like that, it probably would have been when I was younger. But I learned very quickly that, at least in my household and the way I grew up, that making mistakes led to. Okay, I've got 90 seconds before the timer goes off and I have to take my French fries out of the oven. Um, but yeah, so for me growing up, it was very much like I couldn't make mistakes or else you get punished and it was terrible. So I became a perfectionist and I'm very much still working on that. I don't identify as a perfectionist anymore, but I still have a lot of perfectionistic tendencies and it came from a place I feel like of overcompensating or having exceptionally high standards, even higher than what someone might expect of me. To prevent the likelihood of having a mistake happen. So, yeah. Let's see. Difficulties sustaining attention does not appear to listen. I only have difficulties sustaining attention when something's boring. So, I mean, if it's boring or if I'm not interested in the conversation, then I sort of zone out. And I'm really good at pretending like I'm listening and like I'm following the conversation when I'm not. So I guess maybe yeah to that one. People. Also, I'm really good at doing that, but I also more lately. have been stop trying to pretend that I'm following a conversation and just let my lack of interest show. Oh, the timer's about to go off. So, like I said, what I have been doing, has been letting my lack of interest show so that the person doesn't think I want to keep talking about whatever they're talking about. And then eventually most people don't like to sort of talk to themselves or talk to a brick wall. And so then at that point, all the times they'll like change the subject to something else. Also, sometimes it'll be like, what do you think? Or they'll pause and I'll be like, I just don't have any comment on that. Like, I don't know what to say about that. I'm just honest. Like, I don't know what to say about that. Like, yeah, I don't really have any comment on that. And then, we'll end up talking about something else, which is great, right? And it's same for me. Like, I don't want to talk just to myself, although I'm doing that sort of right now. But I don't want to just talk to someone and like not get any sort of feedback or conversation about whatever I'm talking about. So I'm like, okay, well, they're obviously not vibing with that. Like, let's talk about something else then. So I feel like that's a normal thing too. Like, sometimes just so feels like, but the why is important, right? Like, the why is important. Why you have difficulty sustaining attention. Like, that's the key, right? Okay, I wasn't going to come back and do this. I'm editing right now, but I got this idea and then I was like, no, 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 I don't feel like doing that. And then I was like, I'm just going to keep editing, and I was letting it roll, and then Spirit sent the lights. I like see circling lights whenever I'm still trying to interpret them, but they often come when I've got an idea or when like I'm on the right path, and they started coming more, and I was like, okay, okay, okay. I'll go back and I'll add this bit. And the bit I was going to add was that I mentioned like no one likes to talk to like a brick wall. And it totally flashed me back to when I was younger. My mom would always say that talking to me was like talking to a brick wall. And it just made me think like, man, like maybe it was happening then. And I just didn't, of course, what would I know as a kid or whatever, teenager, adult? What do I know, right? What do any of us know? But it totally flashed me back to that. And then I just got this other flashback to when I was working in sales. I was a supervisor and I had a meeting with the manager, sales manager, and during a meeting, just in the middle of it, he's like, I can't read you. And I was like, okay. And I feel like I like, unless I'm feeling inspired, unless I'm feeling like really excited, like I may not be that expressive. And there's a lot going on inside that doesn't always reflect on my face. And that was something very much that I perfected as a child. But did I perfect it because of circumstance? Did I perfect it because it's just sort of a part of how my like personality, my design works? Or it's probably a combination. But let's get back to the video. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Struggles to follow through with instructions, has difficulty with organization. I don't struggle to follow instructions unless the instructions are poorly communicated or written. The instructions, I often find that I follow instructions best if I can see someone doing them, like doing the actual process, like a video, or seeing them in person. And then I have an opportunity to try it myself. But like, I'm taking jewelry classes right now, and like, I'm not the only one. It's actually a couple of us in class that be getting really frustrated because the instructions are so poorly written. And it's like, well, maybe they're not talking about this situation, but yeah. And then difficulty with organization. I wouldn't say I have difficulty with organization. I just need more organizing tools. And I guess I just don't place a lot of importance on organization containers or organization decor, or things that you need to actually keep things organized. I just don't have any interest in like spending money on that when I could spend money on like food or like art supplies or like metal or just like books or just like other stuff. So I could be definitely be more organized, but I sort of know, but I know where everything is, right? I've got the organized piles or organized drawers or organized areas where I know where the things generally are, and then whatever. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Avoids or dislikes tasks requiring sustained mental effort, loses things easily. Um, I would say the first part of that is a no for me. Jewelry making is, in essence, a task that requires sustained mental effort. Physical effort as well, but you definitely have to stay focused. I take lots of breaks, though. I could probably work for maybe like a good 2, 3 hours straight, and then I need like a good like 10, 15 minute break, and then I can go back. And it loses things easily. I would probably say that that has to do with the organization standpoint. Sometimes I do lose stuff. Sometimes I just like decide not to put something in the spot I usually put it, and I just like I know that I'm gonna forget where it is, and then I do. But like it's all about the why, right? um, it's easily distracted. It's forgetful in daily activities. Um, I see. I feel like they're saying viewing distraction as like a negative thing. I would like to view it as being inspired. Like I'm inspired to something else right now. I'm inspired to something else right now. This avenue gets me excited, so I'm going to go in this direction. And so someone might view that as being easily distracted, but for me, it's just like if there's something that's more exciting and more inspiring to me, like my emotional state and my vibration is my compass. So I'm going to go in that direction. And I don't really care if anyone thinks it's like a negative thing. That's what I do. And it's helped me live a better life, following my excitement and my inspiration. So, in that, I suppose, yes. Forgetful, I would not say that I'm forgetful, but I do oftentimes intentionally decide not to do something I previously said I was going to do. Like it might be on the schedule to do this thing, and then I decide that and then when the day comes, like I just want to do something else. So yeah. Let's see what's else on this list. Talks excessively. Um, I wouldn't say I talk excessively. I don't know what that even means. Like, what is talks excessively? I feel like it's only excessive talking when the person that's being talked to doesn't want to be a part of the conversation. And maybe they have ADHD. Maybe they're distracted from the conversation. Maybe they're the one with the problem. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of like sort of inherently negative bias with that. Fidgets and often needs to get up and walk around. Um, I don't really fidget, but I do often need to get up and walk around because we're sitting too much. We need to get up and move our bodies. Okay. And for anyone curious, I'm on this website called chad.org, chadd.org, if you're curious where I'm reading this from. Acts impulsively or speaks before thinking. I see impulsive. I like to think of impulse. It depends on if the impulse is positive or negative, right? If it's a negative impulse, then that's not great. If it's a positive impulse, if it's an inspiration, then go for it. And yes, I do try to act impulsively on my positive impulses and not on my negative ones. I have quite a bit of restraint. I can definitely hold back acting on negative impulses. Um, Speaks before thinking. Yeah, I don't usually do that. I think quite a bit before I think. I mean, I think quite a bit before I speak. Okay, let's go to the next one. Appears to daydream, but will explain that her thoughts feel like they're going a million miles a minute and she has trouble keeping her mind on one topic. Um, sometimes, sometimes. I'm often thinking about a lot. There's a lot going on up here. Um, but I do also daydream a lot where I'm not like really thinking much, but I'm just like going through worlds and realities in my mind, like in my imagination. Like I'm just like off somewhere actually doing some shit. And but yeah, I also do like just sort of like I'm thinking and I'm just sort of thinking and I'm just thinking and I'm just like yeah, zoned out thinking about shit. Easily makes friends but has difficulty sustaining relationships. So I thought this is something I feel like was caused by I moved a lot as a kid. I went to 13 different schools, including high school. And so I was really good at making friends, but like I didn't have a ton of experience sustaining relationships. I also didn't have a lot of kids in my like family members, like cousins that were around my age that I could see very often. So I feel like that I've had challenges with maintaining relationships because of that. That probably didn't help things, but also it's saying in there and being like, yeah, that's still something that challenges me quite a bit. Um, the maintaining, sustaining friendships. So, yeah. Self harming activities or activities that require extreme and unhealthy self discipline. I have been known to do, I wouldn't say self harming, but like activities that require extreme unhealthy self discipline. Yes. Keto was that for me. Went real extreme on that. That was fun. I've also like part of that perfectionism that I had more of. A lot of that also had to do with like the implementing of these standards for myself that no one else was asking of me, but I would set these like extreme standards of what I needed to do and who I needed to be, and then have to maintain that, and then I wouldn't be able to, and then I would end up like swinging way back the other way, and then feeling like shit. So yeah, I would say that that fits. Okay, I should go get my French fries very soon. They're done. I just don't want them to get too cold. Okay, I'm just gonna get them now. Okay, fries are out of the oven. You hear that crunch? The way I do it, it only takes 20 minutes. I've perfected it now. It only takes 20 minutes. Slice them real thin. Come out perfect. You don't have to wait forever. And it's really easy to do. Sometimes I like wait too long to start thinking about food. Like I wait until like I'm like so hungry. And then it's like just whatever I can like eat that's gonna get ready the fastest is what I end up eating. So I do my best to try to like when I sense I might be hungry to start preparing and making something. So I'm eating like good, healthy food and not from a place of like stress, like, oh, I waited too long. Oh, I'm not really eating what I want to eat. Okay, let's go to the next symptom here. Adopts compensatory strategies leading to working 2 to 3 times as hard as her peers in order to be equally successful. Fuck. The thing is, yes, I do that. And I just literally described myself doing that. But I feel like when I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I do things way faster than most people. Like the stuff that I'm good at, when I'm like in my lane and I'm like in my zone, in my like place of in my like mode of purpose, I'm way more faster, way more efficient than everyone else. But if I'm like doing something that's actually I'm not supposed to be doing, that's not in alignment for me, then yeah, it takes a lot more time to do that because I don't want to fucking do it. Especially if it's boring, it will take me forever to do it. And so it's like about being successful in what, right? Like, I don't want to be successful in something I don't care about. But in the things that I care about, this is a non-issue. Okay, let's look at the next one. Fears rejection by peers or friends and clings to other people or remains in unhealthy relationships. Yeah, I definitely done that, but it doesn't feel like an ADHD thing. This just feels like our modern society thing. But maybe more people in our society have ADHD than like we know about. Ah, fuck. Okay, there's more. They say, though not often listed as symptoms, other indications of ADHD in girls and women include co-occurring depression and anxiety. Yep. Difficult romantic relationships that can lead to intimate partner violence. Not physical violence, but does emotional violence count? Because that's definitely been a thing. Poor planning. Lately, no, I don't think I have poor planning. I just don't want to plan. It just feels like the only thing that I can plan for like is now. And it's like now what do I want? But I don't know what I'm gonna want like 6 months from now or a year from now. I feel like that's normal. A desire to be cared for by their partner. Why is that a symptom? Oh wait, I skipped ahead to a different paragraph. Okay, let's go back up. Trouble maintaining friendships. Yeah, we already talked about that. At least one space in her life in disarray. Like messy house, messy bedroom, or similar personal space. Yeah, that's actually been a challenge. That's why I need a house cleaner. Often girls with ADHD become sexually active at a younger age. Bingo. Younger age than their peers due to impulsivity, poor planning, or desire to be cared for by their partner. When they do so, they are at a greater risk of being pressured into unwanted sexual activity or becoming victims of sexual violence, and are less likely to use or be able to insist that their partners use contraceptive. Yeah, that got pretty detailed. Okay, well, instead of a hair video, this became an ADHD talk video. So if you resonate with this, if you relate to this, if you in your adulthood realize that, oh, maybe you had ADHD all this time and like no one knew and you didn't know, then I would love to know that I know I'm not the only person that's like late on this. And it's probably honestly for the best that I didn't know. I felt like this was a really good talk for me. Like I feel like I've just been like going through all these shifts, personal shifts lately. And like, it's just so wild to me to come to like another it's like I'm constantly realizing things about myself and it's like never ending. And it's like, it's cool. And it's also like, okay. Like there is more here. Like I thought, like I just got adjusted to this other aspect of me. And now there is another aspect of me to get adjusted to. And this is fun. And also like, okay, infinite universe showing me how if you keep digging for stuff, you will always find something. So, yeah, but I would love to hear from you guys if you relate. I also, don't know if I'm going to put all this on the internet, like not on the internet, but on YouTube. I'm not sure about that. But if for some reason this isn't entirely on YouTube, then you can see all of it on my Patreon. So my Patreon is basically like my precious, really intimate, safe space where I share everything that I don't necessarily feel needs to go on YouTube. And also where I can build more intimate connection with you guys. Especially if like maybe you can't afford to do like a coaching session with me, or can't afford to do some of my other offerings. The Patreon has some really affordable tiers. And also if you do want to like go like head first, like deep dive in and like do all my courses, do my online trainings, like all that's in my Patreon. I have tiers for all that. So it's like whatever level you want to access with what I've created and what I have to offer, like there's a tier for you. So don't worry. But yeah, I would love to see you over there. Come and join. I'm trying to build up my community right now. It's really small, but I'm trying to get it bigger and grow that. So I would love to have you be a part of it and get to know you a little bit better, and you get to know me a little bit better, and I can help you even better. So if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and follow, and come venture on over and check out my Patreon. It is Law of Asha. All right, I love you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I'm gonna eat my French fries now.